Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Pizza Story podcast. I have a really amazing special guest today. It's Scott from Scott's Pizza Tour. He's very well known in the pizza industry. And Scott, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
I am psyched to be on the podcast, Erica. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, me too. So I want to talk to you about your entire story, but I like to start at the very beginning, which is how you got into pizza.
I got into pizza the way I think most people do, which is eating it as a kid. It tastes great. It's celebratory. It's exciting. Nobody's ever depressed when they see a pizza box coming through the door.
Yeah.
It's always fun. And I got into pizza professionally when I realized that traveling to pizzerias with my friends was the most exciting, fun thing to do. And if we spent a Saturday driving to the Bronx or to Philadelphia or wherever and spending the day visiting 5, 6 different pizzerias and talking about each one and learning about the methods at each and the different oven history, like, that was the most fun. So I started my pizza tour company in 2008 based on that idea of visiting pizzerias as entertainment and adventure. And that's what I do to this day.
That is the way to spend a day. Like, that is my favorite thing to do. That's what I do with my family. We talk about the meals. And so I'm guessing I grew up in around Pittsburgh, but I'm from the Northeast. It seems like you grew up in the Northeast.
Yeah, I grew up in New Jersey.
Yeah, I just lived in Ocean City, New Jersey. So South Jersey.
Yeah, Ocean City. What's that place on the boardwalk? Sam's?
There's a couple. There's Manco's.
Mangoes
Manco's. Yeah, Manco's is there. There's
with
one
the
called
sauce on top.
Angelo's. Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, have done a million pizza tours on that boardwalk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, so where did you grow up in Jersey?
I grew up in a Union County, which is kind of right next to, like, it's across the water from Staten Island. And we're the part that includes my hometown is Cranford.
Mm-hmm.
We're right next to this town called Westfield and Clark and Rahway and Linden and Elizabeth and a lot of towns that are right along the train line.
Yeah,
So people who came out of the city and ended up in my neck of the woods.
absolutely. So the good thing about there is, like, you have New York, you have Philly, you're not even that far from Connecticut, and there's so many pizza places in that area.
Oh, there's a ton, but we didn't grow up going out for pizza on adventures. We did not go into New York City, even though it's only 45 minutes away. We
Yeah.
weren't going in for pizza, and we definitely weren't driving to Philadelphia for pizza. And I'd never heard of New Haven being famous for pizza until
Yeah.
I was in my early 20s.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a while.
Now, is this like your first pizza tour, like around that time?
So before I was ever doing pizza tours, I was doing pizza crawls. So that's when I would take my friends to various pizzerias for fun. And there's a big difference between a crawl and a tour, because a tour is where you have guidance and
Yeah.
there's some kind of a structure and a deeper education, and you're seeing a side of the restaurant that the public doesn't get to see. So I was doing pizza crawls,
Mm-hmm.
and I did a pizza crawl, a big one, 26 of my friends and family in October of 2007.
Mm-hmm.
And I took them, we rented a school bus and we drove around all these great places
Wow.
in Manhattan and in Brooklyn. And I think we might have gone to the Bronx that day. And it was at the end of that day that my friends insisted that I quit my job and start doing this pizza crawl thing as a job. And so
Wow.
6 months later is when I did my first actual pizza tour. So I ran my first tour April 27th, 2008.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
incredible. And then, so that's when you launched. And take me through a tour. Like, how does it go?
Well, we meet up at a pizzeria. We always start at a pizzeria, or sometimes I pick people up at their office if I'm doing a company outing. But go to a pizzeria, and then I set up the context for the pizzeria. So,
Mhm.
like, where is this coming from? What is the concept of this place? What style of pizza are they making? What are the characteristics and attributes of that style? And then we eat. And then we either walk a block or two away, or we get
Mhm.
on the bus to drive to the next place. And while we're in transit from point A to point B, that's where we discuss all the details. So if we were on a tour together right now, and I don't know, what's the last pizzeria that you ate at in New York City?
Oh my gosh, it's been so long. I don't even remember. It's been years since I've had pizza in New York City.
What's the last one you ate at in where you live?
So last one I had, actually, we went yesterday, and I went to one for Beachy in Tampa.
Oh, so what style of pizza do they make?
Okay, so they make two styles. One is like a thick pizza, and you get like square, like six slices or something like that. And then they have a very thin, like a New York style pizza.
Gotcha. So,
Yeah.
so what we would talk about is I would ask you, I'd be like, okay, so Erica, what were the elements about that pizza that were unlike other pizzerias that you visit in your everyday life? And then you would say something about how, well, like let's say on this tour we just had the square pizza, and you
Yeah.
might say, oh well, I thought it was interesting that it was cut into 9 slices instead of 12 or whatever. Then you say, oh, I really thought it was interesting that there was the browning on the edge of the crust is different from and then we would talk about why that happened. We'd rewind and talk about their fermentation process of their dough. And
Hmm.
fortunately, you are from a pizzeria family, so you would know some of that information ahead of time.
Yeah.
Other people on that same tour might need us to back up and define fermentation, to talk about wheat flour. But we get people on tours who are in the business and people who are just normal civilian human beings. And so every tour ends up being a combination of all this stuff put together. So we would talk about, okay, well, first thing we need to discuss is that their dough is a 2-day ferment and it's a 1-day bulk, 1-day split. Let's talk about what that is and what it
Yeah.
means. And then we would get into talking about, I don't know, you might bring up their tomato was kind of, the sauce was kind of bland. And then we would talk about how, I'm just making it up, but how, well, they use this very specific tomato, which they do not cook in advance of topping it on the pizza. Therefore, it is not seasoned with garlic, oregano, chili flake, black pepper. It's just salt and tomato. We'd say how that's because this is from southern Italy, where pizza is from, and that whole southern Italian thing is about simplicity, and how American pizza styles are the ones that get more seasoning in their sauces because they're
Hmm.
not treated just like pizzas, they're treated like almost like a pasta sauce. So a tour would be a conversation about, well, what's your reaction to what we just ate? And then the tour guide's job is to unravel what that all means. What does it all mean? It's like a therapy
Yeah.
session.
I love it. It's not just having the pizza, it's the experience of the tour.
And that's why just having pizza is awesome, but
Yeah.
that's a pizza crawl. That's let's hit 4 places. Great. But if it's let's understand the function of these 4 different places, that's a tour.
Absolutely. So take me through. So you quit your job, you decide you're going to do pizza tours. How do people find out about you? Like, how did you start getting business like in the early days?
I come from a background of playing in rock bands
Okay.
where, and it makes sense, believe me, because as a rock band, you're basically a small business. You need to get the word about you playing, about you got a new record, about whatever. And so I knew how to send out press releases and how to print up a bunch of flyers and how to shamelessly stand in the middle of a busy intersection handing out flyers about this show that you're going to play that night.
Yeah.
So when I launched, I sent out press releases. I handed out flyers in Times Square. I was dressed in a little pizza suit.
Wow.
Well, just because, why not? Like
Yeah.
I have this thing. You got to get people to show up.
Yeah.
And so that turned into getting some press coverage. And once it got press coverage, then other people in the press want to cover you. And then other people want to cover you.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it became a story. And I had credits. I could put them on a website. And I can say to the public, oh, here's some social proof. I was covered by these two newspapers and a TV channel. And then once you see what it is that we're doing, then it makes sense. So it didn't get super busy super quickly, but there was a bump in the beginning and then a slow build to make it sustainable to the way that it is now, where I have a team of other tour guides who do it with me.
Wow. Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, I think everything that you do includes marketing.
Yeah, it has to be. If
Yeah.
nobody knows you're doing something, then you can't. It's not a business. Like
Yeah.
you have people have to show up to the tour for it to continue to survive.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. So going through, you probably know every single pizza spot in New York, but what are some of your favorites?
I I mean I know a lot of them
Yeah.
and I have a lot of favorites. It kind of depends on the mood,
Yeah.
but let me ask you about this, Erica. What
Mhm.
is when you think about New York pizza, what is the what are the characteristics of that pizza? Like the perfect New York pizza. What pops into your mind?
A large round pizza and a super thin slice, crispy slice.
Crispy is a key.
Yes.
So there's a few places that do that really well. Scars on the Lower East Side,
Mm.
Joe's on Carmine Street or 14th Street. There's a few of them now. Joe's is like the quintessential. Crispy, right out of the oven without even needing to be reheated, would be Luigi's on Fifth Avenue and Park Slope. Like,
Hmm.
New York Pizza Suprema on 8th Avenue and 31st. Sometimes people ask me for a recommendation, and I know that what they really want is like, what's the thing that I see in the movies? And that would be Pizza Suprema. Sometimes they say, well, what's like the thing that's really hip and cool in New York right now for pizza? And that's where I would say like Mama's 2 or Lindustry. But I can't put those two in the same category. So I don't really believe in a hierarchy and a ranking system for pizza because it's what, like on the tour, the whole goal is every stop on the tour has to be a different style of pizza.
Yeah.
Even though we're eating the same cheese pizza, gotta be a different style.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just two places doing the same thing. One of them's going to do it better than the other, or one of them's going to do it more to your liking than the other. And I want to avoid that.
Absolutely. Do you have like a fan favorite, like on the tours, like most people want this type of pizza or this place?
I don't. And I think it's the goal of the tour is that at the end of the tour, people have a harder time picking out a favorite. Like, yeah, like yesterday's tour, I heard the phrase that I love hearing because it means that I did my job, which is
Hmm.
they say, I can't really pick a favorite because they're all doing something totally different. And then
Yeah.
they might say, well, I really liked number 2 the most. Like I would go back there at the first, but they have a better respect for all of them.
That's incredible because they're getting such a diverse pizza experience with the tour.
Yeah, and the tour can never just be about 4 pizzerias in New York City that you may never go back to.
Yeah.
What if you live in Alaska? You're not going to like fly to New York just to eat pizza.
Yeah.
I want you to get the tools from those pizzerias so when you go back to Alaska, you see things that you didn't see before. Oh, I know that tomato. I see a can up on that shelf. Oh, okay, interesting. Oh, I know what that means when they stack the dough in that way. Ah, interesting. And I want it to become a more fulfilling experience because going to a restaurant, if it was only about food,
Yeah.
then that's why everybody complain. Oh, people who complain about the price of food in restaurants
Mm.
don't understand what a restaurant is for.
Yep.
It's for an experience, right?
Yep.
When you go to your family's place, nobody should ever be able to look at each other and say, I could have made this at home. Because first of all, they couldn't.
Yeah.
And second of all, well, then go home and make it. It's not going to be the same experience.
It's true. I would never complain about the price of food. It's the meal is such an experience and we'll go seek out special meals to have that experience.
What was the last restaurant you went to that felt like a complete experience?
So I love this restaurant in South Jersey called Stephen Cookies.
I'm looking it
And
up.
it's incredible. And the owner has a place called Reed's Farm, and they do pizzas on Fridays, but everything is sustainable and organic and very thoughtful. And Stephen Cookies has these specials on different days. And every time you go there, it's just an experience. It's a new experience almost. And it's one of my favorite places to eat at.
This is in Margate.
Yeah.
I'm just looking it up and
Yeah.
it looks awesome. And now I'm so ashamed that anytime I've been in Atlantic City that I haven't gone here.
The next time.
Oh, this tuna looks good.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
I have never had a bad meal there. Like every single meal has been amazing and experience and they change what they have based on the different ingredients and they just locally source so much and there's just something thoughtful about that to me. It's just like very important to go and have a meal where they've really thought through the ingredients and what they're putting in everything.
oh, this looks so great. And this looks like not just the food that you can't make yourself at home, but a restaurant experience that when you go there, you feel like you're it's entertainment. It's
Yeah.
the event. It's the opposite of let's go for a quick bite before the movie.
Yeah.
Like the bite is the movie.
That's for people who really enjoy eating. Like, this is what we look forward to, is that
I just saw a picture of this spaghetti with melted mozzarella on top.
the chicken parm.
Yeah,
Oh, they
it.
do the chicken parm special. Yeah, it's incredible.
I said so. It's funny. I see the caption says chicken parm, and then I see the picture. It's just like a lump of spaghetti with cheese on top. But this is the chicken parm.
It's super thin. It's like a very thin, yeah. And they do I don't know if they do this during the season. I think it's an off season, but they do like the Sunday gravy. So they'll do like, Sunday sauce.
This looks so good.
Yeah. It's worth it. It's amazing. It's worth the drive.
Okay, this is wild. Thank you for this. I
Of
am now
course.
I have to unfollow somebody so I can follow them and your family's restaurant.
I love it. Just going through the follower list.
I mean, I did this. Yes, I just try to chop people off. Now I have to just screenshot every place and then go back and deal with it later.
Oh my gosh. I wanted to ask you too. So, I mean, every time I interview someone, I always check out like their social media. I've been in marketing 20 years. Of course, I'm going to go check all that stuff out. Your stuff is absolutely amazing. Like, how much do you film content? Like, do you film when you go out, or how do you get your content?
There's a mix. Lately, I've been working with someone who comes into New York
Yeah.
once every 2 months, and then I spend 5 days with him, and I plan out in advance 5 to 10 videos each day,
Yeah.
so that every day we can capture a whole bunch of stuff. And it's a split between visiting pizzerias, interviewing pizzeria owners, talking about some behind the scenes stuff,
Yeah.
doing some cooking in my kitchen, and pizza box stuff because I collect pizza boxes. So
Hmm.
we just look at the stats from the previous months and figure
Yeah.
out what do people like watching. And then I try to, it's a social media channel for the tour company, but I don't use it to sell tour tickets really.
Yeah.
It's more like I want to show people I want to show people the perspective that we're coming from
Yeah.
to make it to the tour. So the content that you see is the caliber of information that you get on the tour.
Yeah, it really like gives you an idea of who you are and like what you're promoting, and that's why it resonated with me.
Thank you. That's so meaningful. It's
Yeah.
really important that it's not just we don't just post those videos to get clicks and likes or whatever.
Yeah.
It's we're posting those videos to show people the information, like to get people excited about pizza. And the whole point of the company is not to take people on pizza tours. It's all about educating people about something they thought was too simple to require education. Because the whole goal is to teach people that everything can be interesting if you just spend some time thinking about it. And pizza is the thing that we're born with everything we need to know. You know what you like to eat. But once you start to pick apart the differences between this and that and the other thing, I just think it makes for a more exciting moment and more respect for the different styles. And then you're less likely to do things like say, this pizza stinks because it's too floppy. Well, maybe you don't understand that the fast bake at a high temperature is why it's floppy. And
Yeah.
that's part of the pizza. And by the way, it's not intended to be eaten by hand at all. So, the assumptions that you're making that lead to you disliking it are incorrect assumptions. I like to
Yeah.
give people the education.
Yeah, I love that. Now, is there something that happens on the tour when you take people where you're like, this is my favorite part? Like, I love when this happens.
The best thing that happens is when people have questions,
Yeah.
like when they have good questions, or when somebody spots something and they ask a question about it. Like, hey, I noticed that the pizza maker did this with her hand when she stretched out the dough. Is that significant? What does that mean? I've never seen that before. I love that because that means that they're paying more attention.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, what does the future look like for you?
I'm going to continue educating people about pizza in this same way, but we'll be doing more tours in New York And then we're going to be doing more pop-ups in other cities where just one day, once a year,
Yeah.
we do a little pop-up tour in Austin or in Chicago or in Philadelphia or Portland, Oregon or Seattle. And then more stuff like that. There's no real big plan beyond that. I just kind of want to keep upping that and also upping my own education. Like I just got off a call with somebody who runs an importing business, and they work with 2 cheese companies, an olive oil company, a flour company, and a tomato company. And
Yeah.
I've traveled to those producers and learned all about them being on site. But we're in the early stages of talking about bringing Americans to Naples to go and visit those companies.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
That is incredible.
that should be a lot of fun. We'll hopefully be able to make an announcement about it in a few months.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, my father, he's Italian, so one of his favorite things is to take us to Italy and plan the whole like trip, the whole tour, and we're gonna hear and plans the place to stay and plans the meal, and it's just like one of my almost favorite experiences of my life is just going there with him because he takes very much pride into doing that.
When you go there, is
Hmm.
there one thing that you look forward to every single time, like one bite of food that you always want to have?
Yeah, so there's a place in Bonassola that does homemade pesto. And so that is my ultimate, that's the one that I look forward to every single time.
It's awesome.
Yeah. In fact, I'll have to send you the name of it, but it's one that my dad takes us to, and it's owned by a husband and wife, and they have like homemade gelato and they have the pesto, and you eat outside, and it's just very beautiful. The breeze is blowing and the music's playing, and it's such an experience.
There's that word again. Like it's not just food; it's an experience.
Yeah, and we like there's 5 kids in my family, so it's like my parents and all 5 of us and like, spouses and grandkids and all sitting together and laughing and eating, and that's just like how we were brought up is was that we had, meals every Sunday, and my dad's an amazing cook, my mom's an amazing cook, so it was just that was what we did as a family.
What do
Yeah,
you
yeah.
like to cook?
Italian food. But my
Yeah,
dad's he's a really, really gifted Italian cook. But my mom, she cooks Italian, but she also cooks some Polish dishes too. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So how would people, if they want to reach you, what are the best ways?
easiest is to go to scottspizzatours.com,
Yeah.
and there's information on that website about our public tour schedule. You can just sign up for however many or few tickets you want for our public schedule of tours. There's also information about our private tours, which can run any day, anytime except Friday, Saturday nights. And
Mhm.
there's also information about Slice Out Hunger, which is my nonprofit that does hunger relief fundraising through pizzerias, and
Yeah.
also information about my pizza box collection, which is a Guinness World Record, the largest pizza box collection in the world.
Can we talk about your pizza box collection a little bit?
Oh yeah, of
I
course.
want to hear all about this.
It's a lot. I started collecting the boxes right after I started running pizza tours as
Wow.
part of my my decision to try to learn everything I possibly could about pizza.
Yeah.
And the box, even though I never eat pizza out of a box because it always makes the pizza worse, the
It
box is,
does, right?
oh yeah, come on.
Yeah.
You can't judge pizza when it's been boxed. But
No.
I think it's important to understand the box if you're going to educate people about pizza.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So how many boxes do you have?
Currently, it's just hovering right beneath 2,000.
Oh my gosh. And where do you keep these pizza boxes?
They're in a storage unit in Brooklyn where they're all
Wow.
organized by size,
I
and
love it.
yeah, they're unused. The next time you're in New York, let me know. You can
Oh,
come
I
see my
will.
collection.
Yeah.
It's wild. We're in the process of building a website so you can search. It'll be a searchable website. You can search by pizzeria, by size, by color, by producer, by city and country of origin. I have 120, more than 120 different countries covered.
Wow. That is incredible. Geez, that's really, really cool. Okay. Absolutely. And do you have them like do you photograph them or do you put them somewhere people see?
So currently nobody can really see them because they're just on my phone.
Sure.
I don't have like an Instagram account where I publish them every day,
Of course.
but I want that. I want to build a website where you can see them. I just I think I have
It's
to
like
find a spot.
2,000 posts.
It's, I mean, it's so much. Like here, this is all of them in my phone,
Oh, wow.
and they're all totally different. But I
Oh,
mean,
they're so, it's like
stare at
art.
this forever. It is art. That's why I wrote a whole book about it called "Viva la Pizza: The Art of the Pizza Box."
Oh,
And
that is incredible.
it's like my top favorite boxes. But you see, they're all totally different.
Oh, it's so cool. I never thought that there was that many
Oh
different
yeah,
ones.
and from Naples, where they're
Oh,
little cartoon images and storylines. Yeah, the pizza. That's another thing. Is just like pizza is so simple that
yeah.
when you start to learn more about it, you can't help but fall into the rabbit hole. Pizza
Yeah.
box is the same.
Yeah,
I'm so
this is,
spoiled.
I agree. Believe me. I tell my husband, this is all I want to do. It's just I've become pizza obsessed.
It's not hard to become pizza obsessed. And then it's also one of those things that I feel like your family doesn't get too concerned about it. It's not dangerous. It's not like, honey, I'm pizza obsessed. Because then it's like, cool.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like, where are we going tonight? Pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you make a lot of pizza at home?
I make some pizza at home, but I mostly when I go back to my family's house because I do all my dad's marketing, so I'll film content and then that's when we really cook a lot. Is when we go there.
What's the
You,
most difficult shot to get when you're filming content for pizzeria marketing?
oh, I mean, really, it's so with my families, if you go on the TikTok account, we have a million. The reason we went viral is for cutting pizza cutting videos, the ASMR. And there's a million pizza, like that's the 64 million. So what I find is the most tricky is two things. First of all, is not getting anything in the shot that is like a Pepsi bottle or like a garbage can or just making sure the shot is clean when you're filming at a really busy pizzeria that's making 100 pizzas and it's noisy, and then the noise.
Oh, especially with the ASMR stuff.
Yeah, so that's
Do you
the
just
two
get really close with the microphone, or how do you do that?
yeah, I just get really close with microphone, and as long as somebody's not standing right there talking about anything, it's usually like I can get it, but a lot of the times, like 1 out of every 4, I just have to delete, but I just will stand back there for 4 hours at the busy and just film, video after video after video, and very similar to you, like we'll film a lot, and then we have those videos and we cut them and we just do this in like a few days or a week's time or something.
That's cool. That makes sense. I gotta go
Yeah.
look at these videos.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Check them out. I want to know what you think.
I love that stuff. But and whenever I see those, I'm like, how are they getting these? Everyone is getting like little microphones and getting right up there. I guess so.
Yeah. 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 I mean, at first it was just the phone, but then I wanted to get the sounds better. Nothing sounds as good as a pizza being cut.
Oh, it's the best. And
It's
the
the best.
anticipation. And you could tell a lot about a pizza by how it gets cut because,
Yeah.
if it crunches the whole way through, that's a whole different pie than if it crunches at the ends but then goes silent in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah. And we have this where like we take the pizza out at the end and we have it just on the flat surface of the oven so that when it gets cut, it has that crunch the whole way through. And it's just a very lovely sound just every time.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, so hopefully you'll be popping up near Wimber, Pennsylvania, DRX Pizza at some point in the future.
If I'm ever near there, I promise you a little alarm will go off in my brain and I will go.
Yeah, we will hook you up.
I'll be ready for it. I'm so excited about it. I'll be sitting there listening to the crunch of the slicer.
Absolutely. Yeah, anyway, I've really enjoyed talking with you. I'm so glad that you were on the podcast. I was looking forward to this one.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. This is always fun to talk about pizza, especially with somebody who's in the biz.
Yeah, absolutely. So, guys, go and follow him, Scott's Pizza Tours. Go on Instagram, check it out. If you're in New York City, look him up. I know the next time I'm in New York, I'm going to do that. I want to book a tour and see how it is firsthand.
Be ready for it. Thanks again, Erica.
All right. Thank you, Scott.